Baruchim Abayim Mishpacha. Baruchim Abayim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hakol she'ohavim et hashabat hatoah. Bekol shezeh our one and only Yah, our one and only true creator. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, those of you, each and every one of you that loves the Most High. I am your instructor. I'm your teacher for this particular session. Yes, this is Shabbat Morning Coffee, and you are in the right place. Listen, we are on a good path. You know what? We spent some time talking about the man, the Hebrew man, and his role as a father. We also spent time talking about the Hebrew woman and her role as a divine mother. And now it's time, as is stated, it's time to check on the children and see what the children are going to be about. That's going to be our topic. Our children as our covenant future. Our children as our covenant future. And you know what? I have to say, never before has the need to invest and focus on our children been heavier on my heart. It's going to be a wonderful time. So, hey.
See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
And yes, we are back with you as stated before. For those of you that are new to this channel, yes, I'm Melky Uriel. I am your teacher and your instructor. And hey, I'm happy that you are here. Those of you that have a passion for our children, meaning that your heart goes out and you understand their importance for the future. You understand who they are. I'm pretty sure that you're going to enjoy our main topic discussion. For those of you that are here for the first time, I greet you in the name of the Most High. I greet you in the name of Yah. The names that he has been called that we use on this channel is Yah, according to Psalms 68:4. And yes, we also use the longer but more ancient pronunciation of what many have termed to be the Tetragrammaton, or the Yod He Wah He, the four letters, which looks like the capital Y, capital H, capital W, and capital H. Of course, we use the more ancient pronunciation and we say Yah-O, understanding that there are familiar pronunciations that relate to the Elephantine Papyrus and certain aspects of Yahwism. But however, this is not the topic of that discussion. We simply want you to know that we love the Most High and we call upon him by his name. And we seek to do so by the most ancient pronunciations that we can muster. Now, we don't know everything. In fact, there's a whole bunch we don't know. But we are seeking after his truth and after his knowledge, and we're using the clues that our ancestors have left us in the Holy Writ. And yes, I'm talking about the Tanakh. And we use what we can, we research, we study, and I think I'm going to open up some study time and ask you all to join me in my study time, and we hunt these things out together. I think that's going to be great. Something else I'm also looking at is actually, some have asked me before, in fact I do have a Facebook group for learning Hebrew. I also am going to go through Hebrew and actually take you step by step from the very, very, very beginning and give you a deep understanding of the spirit and the conscious DNA of Hebrew, going all the way into certain aspects of biblical and even modern Hebrew, so that we might be able to discuss in a derivation of that tongue as closely as possible. No, we're not going to get to the actual ancient exact version, because that would require the Paleo Hebrew to be a living language, and we don't find that to be the case at this time. But those are some things that we have slated. Let me know if you're interested. We're going to post my email address in the chat room. I am your moray for this session, and we're going to have wonderful sessions. Now, I got to warn you right away, hey, there's going to be some things that you come across that are going to be challenged to your psycho-spiritual health. In other words, you're going to be challenged, okay? We're going to press the envelope. We're going to make you think, and we're going to actually challenge you on some things. And by the way, that's par for the course. If I'm not sharing anything new with you, then I'm not doing my job. If I am not introducing you to a concept that may seem foreign or challenging to you, then I'm not doing my job. Along the way, I will fortify what we know, such as in the upcoming moments, even as I segue into that right now, which is that we are Yah only. And some of you looking at this channel for the first time, you may be asking, well, I mean, like, why? I mean, like, everybody looks at, and man, everybody has the Holy Bible, right? Surely you know that the Holy Bible has been in, churches like forever. So how come you don't look at the Holy Bible? Well, the Holy Bible, okay, was not given at Mount Horeb. The Holy Bible was not given at any point in time in Israel's history. But what was given, and for those of you that believe that Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, if you believe that he was and he is, if you believe that he is and was the Messiah, the sent one, okay, then you trust his words. Well, he did not at all subscribe to what we call the Holy Bible, meaning specifically that he did not subscribe to nor endorse the Christian New Testament. Okay, he did not endorse it. It's foreign to him. He did not know it. He never read a single page of the New Testament. The New Testament is as foreign to Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans. It is as foreign to him as the writings of Sun Tzu or the writings of the Bhagavad Gita, okay? These things were so foreign to him. In fact, I would dare say that him being a Hebrew of the first century, the Holy Bible would be as foreign to him as the ancient language of Chinese. He didn't know it. He did not investigate it. He did not read it. It was not something. And it wasn't something that he focused on. It wasn't something that was a part of his spiritual walk. Well, there's many people today who call themselves Christians, and so we must ask, if they call themselves Christians and if they honor Christ, why don't they follow the practices of their Christ by, one, eating clean, okay? Which means you're going to have to put down those sea roaches called lobsters and shrimp. Yes, those are the roaches of the sea. I've heard it expressed this way. If you take a roach and acclimate it for the water, it will look like a shrimp, and it will be a shrimp, okay? I dare say if you take that soft body of the roach and cook it like you do shrimp, I guarantee you'll have the same consistency. You are eating sea roaches. Those of you that like shrimp, those of you that like lobster is just a giant sea roach. So trust me, while you're loving that tail and eating that lobster's tail, please understand you are eating a giant sea roach. Well, if you're going to follow Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, you're going to have to eat clean. Okay? You're going to have to eat clean, and you're going to have to divorce yourself from the concept that Paul introduced, that somehow, because you have a belief in an individual named Jesus, Yeshua ben Yosef, that somehow he's completing all of the law and he's doing the law for you, which is absolutely, I dare not say what word came to my mind, but I'm just simply going to say that it is ridiculous. Okay, that's like someone saying that, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom for you. Okay, I mean, if someone can eat clean for you, then surely they can go to the restroom for you, right? When is the last time you had someone go to the restroom for you? Never happened. No matter how much I eat, it's not going to nourish your body. It's foolishness for you to think that someone is doing something for you. The Most High has always commanded that you do what you are supposed to do. So I dare not get off on a rabbit trail, but I serve you notice that we are Yah only. We do follow the word of the Most High, even as Yeshua ben Yosef followed the words of the Most High, and we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Yeshua ben Yosef, called Jesus by the Greeks and the pagans, his subscription to the law can be found in Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. Okay, and there's other allusions to his stand on the law, but bottom line of it is, you got to keep it and you have to do it. And by the way, for those of you who are thinking that, well, the kingdom is here, and so all that's done away with, well, I would say to you, as you're going to hear me say many times, hogwash. Simply because you notice that when Yeshua ben Yosef said, you know what, it's about the kingdom. And by the way, it's about keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments. Okay, of course, I'm paraphrasing. But he said something here that, I don't know, those of you that think that the kingdom is coming and the kingdom is here, I think you need to see this. I think you need to hear this, because this is serious. At least I think it's serious. So let's take a look. Notice what it reads here. Okay, for those of you that think, oh, the kingdom's coming, so we don't have to do that law stuff no more. Well, looky here. This is even in your Christian New Testament. Okay, I'm using the New Testament to show you that we are correct in what we say and in what we teach. Notice here, Matthew 5, and we're going to skip right down to verse 19. For those of you who believe that Yeshua ben Yosef, that he is the Messiah, and that he is, I dare not say it is so blasphemous, that he is Yah in the flesh. So blasphemous to even say that, even think that. But nonetheless, Matthew 5 and 19 reads, whosoever therefore shall break one of the least of these commandments. Oh, I thought the law was done away with. No, it's not done away with. And notice, and shall teach men so, shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? And whosoever shall do and teach them shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So that lets you know that there is going to be a class system in the place that you call heaven, okay, in your ideology. That place called heaven, it's going to have, yes, it's going to have a class system. And those of you, yeah, that ain't no law, ain't no, you're going to be the scums of the bucket, okay? You're going to be the lowlifes, okay? You're going to be the ones sleeping in alleys. And I'm just using this as an example, not literally, but I'm just saying, it says that you're going to be the least in the kingdom, okay? But those who teach the law and teach its obedience, they shall be great in the kingdom. What does that tell you, even about your so-called modern system of religion called Christianity and the kingdom? It tells you that the system of the law supersedes, it is greater. And so we stand upon the word of the Most High. We stand upon his truth. We stand upon his word, because his word does not change. The law of the Most High, it abides forever. Okay, his truth abides forever. And so we give you we give you this truth, even as it comes to us from Isaiah 40:8. The grass withers, the flowers fade, but the word of our Elohim shall stand forever. I'll say it again. But the word of our Elohim shall stand forever. For those of you that are not aware, it was our Elohim, Yah, that was upon Mount Horeb giving the law unto Moshe and unto Israel. That law stands forever. It was our Elohim, Yah, who gave the covenant, okay, wrought out a covenant with Abraham and wrought out a covenant and even spoke unto David and said that, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I bring you back and that you're going to be king over my people forever. Those are his words. He said that he would raise him up. Those are his words. And so, yes, these things he put in motion. And by the way, for those of you that think, well, we're in a new covenant, and we don't have to worry about any of that because we're in a new covenant. Well, first of all, you need to understand what that covenant is, and you need to understand the rules concerning that covenant. And notice what the Most High said in Psalms 89:34, my covenant will I not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. So he's saying, I've given you the covenant, and I'm not even going to alter what I've stated. I'm not going to alter my covenant. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to say, as was said in Job, let me take you there, as was said in Job, I believe it is, I'm going here, Job 8:20, the Most High is not going to say, behold, Elohim will not cast away a perfect man, meaning that he's not going to kill someone on a cross that's perfect. He's not going to kill someone on a cross that's sinless. He's not going to kill someone on a cross, okay? Someone that does not deserve death. But notice what it reads here, neither will he help the evildoers. So the idea that the Most High is going to sacrifice someone that is clean and pure for someone that is filthy and sinful is wrong. Once again, dare I say it for the 11th time, hogwash. It is a lie. You have been told a religious lie. You've been told a doctrinal lie. And I serve you notice, for those of you that are here, I bring you the words of Yah. I bring you his truth. I bring you the words as is found in the Tanakh that the Most High has declared and decreed, and he does not change. And this is something also that does not change. I don't care what John 3:16 says. This law of the Most High does not change. And notice what it reads, Deuteronomy 24:16. The father shall not be put to death for the children. Meaning, also that neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers, which means that, guess what? Since Adam supposedly bit the apple, okay, we don't suffer death or are put to death for something that they did. This is a spiritual law. This is spiritual truth. And this is the way that the Most High operates. And notice what it reads here. Every man, remember this is eternal. Every man shall be put to death for his own sins. There is not an expiration date on this truth. It simply reads that every man shall be put to death for his own sins. And like they used to say back in the day, put that in your pipe and smoke it. You're going to have to stand for your own sins. Okay? You're going to have to stand for your own sins. You're going to die for your own sins. And by the way, for those of you who might be thinking, no, because Christ is going to judge us and he's going to find us, righteous, and we're going to just be, well, okay. Notice what is read in your Christian New Testament here about him doing things for you and him being your righteousness and him being Take a look at this, okay? Roll this one up in your pipe. Here we go. For we must all appear, says the Apostle Paul, before the judgment seat of your Christ. Why? Wait a minute. He's supposed to be the one that's doing everything for you, eating clean and wearing seat for you and doing teshuvah for you. I mean, he's the one that's doing all that for you, right? That everyone may receive the things done in his body. Wait a minute. If what you believe, which is that Jesus is doing everything for you, then why do you have to stand judgment so that you might be judged for what you've done in your body. If it's all under the blood, and if it's all under the blood, and if it's all, oh, it's cast away into the sea of forgetfulness. Man, I ain't got to worry, because I believe. Why is it that you're going to stand before the judgment seat and still give an account for everything that you've done, if everything that you've done is supposed to be under the blood, and everything that you've done is supposed to be, done by him because he did it for you? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please. So you're going to stand judgment, according, somebody's in trouble. Look at what it says here. According to that you have done. Not believed unto, but what you have done. Okay? And based upon what you've done, whether it's good or bad, that's what you're going to be judged on. So wait a minute. I'm here to serve you notice that those of you that are here, you need to understand and you need to realize that unfortunately you've been told something that is not true. You've been told something, and you have have a false sense of peace and a false sense of comfort because you have received a different revelation, a different truth that was not according to the words of the Most High. So on this channel, we are Yah only, because we believe that the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, that he created everything, and therefore he has authority over everything, okay, and everyone. And so his words are eternal. Not only that, but we stand upon his word. We decree his word to be true. And it is his word that is the Tanakh, okay? And I know I could go into this more. I could show you where Yeshua ben Yosef did not co-sign to the New Testament. I could do that, but hey, that's for another time, all right? Unless someone asks for it, that's for another time. But what we do here is that we do stand upon his word. Therefore, we walk in his covenant. Even the miniature version called the 10 Declarations, which says that we will not have any other Elohim before our Elohim. I don't care who's out there. I don't care what's out there. We have chosen the Most High. Yah, El Elyon, we have chosen the Most High, the creator of the heavens and the earth, as our Elohim. And we will not make any object to represent him, neither molten, nor sculpted, nor put together, nor ideological, or imaginational. Or, nor imaginational is not a word, but neither pertaining to our imagination or ideology. We will stand upon the word of the Most High and honor him and him alone. We will not take his name nor his presence in vain. Neither do we forget to keep Shabbat holy, which is why we do no work during the daylight hours. And we do honor our mother and our fathers, our ancestors that have gone on before us, for we stand upon their shoulders. Peace be upon them all. We will not shed innocent blood. We will not commit murder. We will not commit adultery. We will not steal. We will not be a false witness in any matter of adjudication, but rather we shall speak the truth when it comes to adjudication and law, and we will not covet that which belongs to someone else. We therefore are walking in the covenant of the Most High. So we stand before you, those of you that are here, saying, hey, we love you. Those of you that walk in the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and we follow his commandments, and we do so with great joy, with great love, and great adoration. Well, not only are we a people that love his word, we also love to pray. Yes, we love to pray, and we also love to praise the Most High. Yes, we really do. And with that being the case, when we pray, here's how we pray. We first of all take inventory of ourselves and ask ourselves, are we in sin? Are we guilty of sin? Are we guilty of sin? Knowingly having committed sin, are we guilty of sin? Okay? And if we were once guilty of sin, we ask ourselves, have I demonstrated by means of righteous actions? Have I been consistent in that which the Most High demands of me in that area, or am I continually slipping in that area? Well, if you're continually slipping and you have not overcome, then you must approach prayer with mercy and go before the Most High with mercy, but then also have mercy upon others. But if you demonstrated to yourself, you know what, yeah, I was messing up, but thanks be to the Most High, I got it straightened out, and you know what, I'm demonstrating consistently that I can walk in righteousness in that area. Well, then you can forgive yourself, and you can also forgive others, meaning if others have wronged you, but they've demonstrated that they can now do what is right by you consistently out of a pure and joyful heart, then yes, you are able to forgive them. Now, may be the case that even though you're able to forgive yourself and you're able to forgive others, you still need to hold the hand of mercy and allow mercy to accompany you in the entirety of your path, because the Most High has mercy upon us. Despite, no matter what we think or no matter what we feel, we do need the mercy of the Most High, because there's going to be some things that we've done wrong that we don't know that we've done wrong, and it is those things that we do what is written in the scriptures in Hosea, the 11th chapter, that says, bring the sacrifice of the calves of our lips. There's no need for us to sacrifice animals, for we are without a temple. Okay? We are without a temple. We are without. And we understand very plainly that while we are outside of the temple, that we definitely need the Most High to be with us and to watch over us and to keep us and be all that we need, right? Be all that we need. And so with that being the case, we do bring the sacrifice of our own lips unto the Most High. And the scripture says that they are our calves, right? The calves that we're sacrificing. And because we don't have a temple, right? Well, with that being the case, let's move forward here, and let's really give an understanding about prayer, and that you allow yourself to be put in the shoes of the individual that needs the help. And so by walking in mercy, you receive mercy from the Most High. And yes, let's get ready, and let's get ready to pray before the Most High, knowing that we must walk in mercy with each other. All right, let's go before the Most High. We are ready to go before the Most High. We've done our inventory. Let's go before Him. Baruch atah Ya'o, Baruch atah b'kol haaretz, Baruch atah b'hashemayim, Baruch atah. Blessed are you, Most High. Blessed are you in the heavens. Blessed are you in the earth. We come before you as your people, as the people of your covenant. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for having mercy upon us. We ask that you would have mercy. Have mercy upon us, because we are your people and we seek to walk in your righteousness and in your truth. We come before you in joy and in peace. We celebrate your presence. We celebrate your name. We celebrate who you are. We thank you. You are our greatest delight in this land in which we live. You are our greatest delight, and we serve you with joy and gladness. We serve you as we've already received you and the abundance of all that you have and all that you give unto us. We delight in you, and we thank you for being with us. We thank you for looking upon us and giving us mercy. Giving us mercy, the mercy of another day, to do righteously and to be forgiven by our sins as is dictated by our actions. We thank you, Most High. We give you praise, Most High, and we honor you in this. I pray and I lift up every member of this community, this Hebrew community. I lift up each and every one of them. I thank you. I thank you for how you have been with Penny Frank, and you've blessed her. Her body is well and whole and increasing in strength as well. We thank you for our sister Leonie Crowling. We thank you for her, how you're yet working with her, and you're giving her strength and reviving her. May it be said of her that she is like Sarah for the appearance of youth and beauty. May it be said of her that she has strength and that her forces have not abated. We thank you for her, and we thank you for what you are doing in her life. We thank you for how you're watching over our dear beloved sister. So I lift up every member of our staff, everyone that does have a charge in this community. I lift them up before you, from our moderators to the ministers of health and wellness, the minister of economics, our minister of safety and security. We lift them up before you, them and their families, and we thank you. We thank you for them, each and every one of them, and even the visitors that are here. I pray your truth and your blessings be upon them. No matter who they are, where they're from, I pray that you intervene and interject your truth into their life, that you give them your word as a breath of fresh air, a breath of life into their existence, so that they themselves would be filled with your leading, your guiding, and your strength and your purpose, and that we would do this as being a part of your community. We thank you. We bless our brothers and sisters all over the world, and we thank you. Aman wa aman. Well, peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Hey, what I want to do right now is let me tiptoe into the chat room and let me give some shout outs to those who are there. Let me give some shout outs to those who are there. And let's see. Oh, okay. So my chat is actually up today. That's great. My chat is actually up today, so I can see who's here. Let's take a look, and let me see here who. Let's see. Okay. So, peace and blessings. The person that turned the lights on this morning was none other than our chief administrator, our chief moderator himself. I'm talking about Bergen Paris, my brother from another mother. I salute you, my brother. Shalom, peace and blessings to you as well. Guess what? As well, the person to turn on the coffee pot this morning was none other than our brother Adrian, the Minister of Economics. We do appreciate you, my brother. Also, I'm so glad to see my beloved sister, Kanaya Israel, our Minister of Wellness and Health. Peace and blessings to you. And, we got a treat today, y'all. We got a treat. Yes, we do. I'm going to let the cat out the bag a little later, okay? But we do have a treat today. And also, our moderators, Josh and Penny, the dynamic duo themselves. I appreciate these two lovely people. This is my family right here, y'all. These are my peoples who are not called by my name. But, hey, they are my people nonetheless. Just as all of you all are my people, right? So, hey, like you say that song, we are family. Okay, all right, I ain't gonna sing that song. Okay, anyway. So, peace and blessings to my brother Gilbert, which is here. Peace and blessings to you, Gilbert. Glad that you are here. Also, my sister Christine Croning, or Leonie Croning, we're glad that you are here. Peace and blessings to you. Shalom to you. Also, we have, let me continue here. My sister, the lovely Mariska Parker. Peace and blessings to you, my sister. I'm glad that you are here. My brother is here, Ben Naphtali. Peace and blessings to you, my brother Ben Naphtali. And George Evans is in the house. All right, all right. Oh, listen, our honored and esteemed More is also in the house. More Yeshaya of Hebrew Lessons. I trust that you all have been checking him out and going to his channel. I appreciate my brother. I really do. I appreciate my brother. I'm glad that you are here. I'm honored that you are here, sir. As well, let's continue here. My brother Michael Charles Marsh is in the house. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. I don't know why it looks like you can cook to me. It just looks like you can throw down, bro, in the kitchen. I don't know if that's true. But hey, Mrs. H is here. Miss H. I said Mrs., but Miss H is here. Please, peace and blessings to you, Miss H. Glad to see you, Miss H. By the way, I did notice last week that you changed your picture. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice, very nice. Also, we have... and also, Kanaya Israel, my sister, changed her picture as well. I noticed that last week as well. I don't think they got together and did it at the same time, but yeah, I did notice that as well. And also, I want to give a shout out to my sister's husband, Kanaya Israel, her husband. Peace and blessings to you, sir, if you may be watching. Also, we have Repentant and Saved up in the house. Hey, hey, Repentant and Saved. Glad that you are here. Love you. Pray that you and your husband are well. Jermaine, pray that he is well. He got to be around here somewhere because, you know, he don't leave you too far behind. You two are always together. Also, who else would we be looking for here? I mentioned Repentant and Saved. And did I miss anyone? Oh, Terry. Peace and blessings to you, Terry. May the Most High bless you. May the Most High keep you. Glad that you're here. And thank you. Come on. I'm so glad that you're in the chat room. You're here with us. I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Terry. I just want to say a couple of things here. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Give me a second and I'll be right back. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to actually, we're going to get into our topic for today. Once I return, we're going to get into our topic. Be right back. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm excited to offer you a brand new course at Navi Beit Academy. One of the first courses that we're developing at Navi Beit Academy, and we're welcoming you. It's called the Hebrew Memorization Course, and perhaps you've been reading some Hebrew reference materials, and you note that the paragraphs are numbered by the Hebrew alphabet, as well as the verses. And you're wondering, well, how do I know which is which? If I want to go to a particular paragraph, how do I do that? You may also be wondering, well, how do I memorize the 10 Commandments? I want to be able to memorize the 10 Commandments and know them frontwards and back and be able to recall them in order and to know which commandment is which. As well as the Hebrew alphabet. I want to know the Hebrew alphabet and their numerical values from 1 to 400. I'm here to tell you that you can do that now. Now there is a course here at Navi Beit Academy where you will memorize the Hebrew alphabet from 1 to 22 and their numerical values from 1 to 400, as well as the 10 Commandments. All anyone will be able to have to do is to just either speak the number or the Hebrew alphabet, and you will be able to recall it. It's as simple as thinking of a number like 19, and 19 in the Hebrew alphabet is Qaf, which its numerical value is 100, and its paleographic Hebrew symbol is that of the horizon. Let's say 3, all right? Just a random number. 3 in the Hebrew alphabet is Gimel, and its paleographic Hebrew symbol is that of the foot.
and also its number is 3. But guess what? Since it's 1 through 10, number 3 would represent the third commandment of the 10 commandments, which is thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Well, how am I able to do that? I'm able to do that because I've been using this system for some time now, and I'm willing to offer to you through this course at Navi Bait Academy. That's right. You can take your time. If it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, if it takes you 2 years, it's up to you to just study at your own pace. The only thing we ask you to do is just to dig in with us. And I'll even let you in on a secret. You can start the course for free. So thank you very much, and we can't wait to see you on the other side.
All right, my humble apologies. Yes, I had to take a little bit of a break. And hey, glad that you all are still with me. So let's get into our topic at hand. And let's just have a conversation about our main topic. So what shall we say of our children? As mentioned before, we've discussed men and their role as a father. We've discussed the man needing to be whole and entire. And we've mentioned the multiplication of self from going from man to man with woman and then being one. And we've gone from even that level of oneness and wholeness into the next level of the multiplication of self, which brings about children. Children, believe it or not, that's where the Most High strikes pay dirt. It's the children that are the heritage and the inheritance of the Most High. And I need you to think about this for just a moment. It is with our children that we're able to perpetuate and continue what the Most High has begun. And it is this reason that brought Abraham his value, okay? Without an understanding of the operation of the family and how the family would be affected, if you will, by the man of the house. In this particular case, I'm talking about none other than Abram himself. It's needful for us to understand that Abraham was valuable before the Most High, not because he held any intrinsic value within himself as a human being, but he was valuable to the Most High because of how he would treat his family and what he would do concerning his family. Okay? And I want you to notice here that the Most High, again, he spoke to Abram and he said, you know what? I need you to understand some things, okay? I need you to understand some things about what I'm going to do and what I want. I need you to understand some things about my plan. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but what I am going to do is I'm actually going to share this with you, and I want to give you an understanding of just how important you are, okay, even when it comes to the family. Notice what it reads here. Now Yah appeared unto Abram and said, basically, get out of Dodge. I need you to get out your daddy's house, Okay? I'm going to do something different with you. And I want you to go to a place where I'm showing you. Notice verse 2. And I will make of you a great nation. I'm going to make of you a great nation. And I will bless you and make your name great. Okay? And you shall be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. And in you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Okay? Of you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So notice what he says here. I will make of thee a great nation. A great nation comes from the inner workings of the family. Just as we saw that the man goes from a whole individual to the multiplicity of self and becomes man and woman, and then they multiply again and become a family, then that family multiplies again and they become a community, and those communities multiply again and they become a nation. Even as that happens, you have to understand that the greatness of a nation comes from the individual family unit itself. If we are not tending to our families, then we're failing the nation. I will say that again. If we are not tending to our families, then we are failing our own nation. Israel will never be greater and cannot be greater than our individual families. I will say this again. Israel cannot be any greater than our individual families. If the family is toe up from the flow up, then the nation is, guess what? Toe up from the flow up. So when you take a look at it and understand, the family then is of major importance. The family is of major importance to what the Most High is doing. Again, I will say it. It is the family that is of major importance, not your individual ministry, not your individual fame, not your individual gift and talent that you can show everyone. No, it is the family that is most important. And while I'm on this note, let me mention this only because I feel like it's important, right? I feel like it's important to mention that whatever gift you have, and whatever gift, like let's say if the man of the house or the man and woman of the house, they have a gift, perhaps that's meant to become the legacy of the family. Okay, I do want to get into family legacy just a little bit later on, but it is not the topic of our subject for right now. But every family in Israel should have a legacy. They should have a gift. They should have something that they provide to the community. They should have something, a service that they provide to the community. They should be a part of a service or provide a service that will help Israel, that will help the community. That being the case, I need you to understand the Most High himself does desire that we fully and completely, when I say fully and completely, I believe that the Most High wants us to really, live leaning into the wind, as I say, express ourselves fully, be 100%, be on point, be all that we can be, whatever you call it. But when it comes to a family, that we are to be multiplied with that. We're to be the dominators and those who progress and those who take, if you'll allow me to say it this way, those who actually take the level of dominion and leadership within the earth and actually begin to demonstrate the kingdom of the Most High. Okay? We understand that, yes, we need that. Now, I want you to see this, and I'm going to read this to you from the ESV concerning Abraham and how Abraham himself, notice what the Most High says about Abraham. He says, you know what? I'm going to multiply your offspring, okay? Your offspring are just that important. I'm going to multiply your offspring, right? He even says it here in verse number 3. This is Genesis 26. We're going to begin at verse number 3. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you, for to you and to your offspring will I give these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and I will give to your offspring all these lands, and in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Okay? I know that some people look at this and they say, well, this is definitely an anachronism that's been placed in Scripture. This is an anachronism in Genesis 26 and 5. The reason why we know that this is an anachronism is because during the time of Abraham, there was no commandments, no statutes, and no laws. Therefore, this had to have been written later and inserted. Bottom line of it is, whether that's true or not, we understand that there had to have been some laws that Abraham would have kept. We know this simply because, if you think about it, even the prescription that the Most High gave unto Noah, he said, hey, basically, you need to grab some clean animals and some unclean animals. Well, if there was no law, how would Noah know what is clean and what is unclean? So there was basically some type of understanding of what the law of the Most High was, because Noah obeyed it, and Noah also knew to do sacrifice, and Noah also understood the ways of the Most High in order to walk with him and please him. So there had to have been some information, and we can understand that Abraham would have also had that information as well. And as you see here, he kept his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. And guess what? The Most High said, you know what, Abram, because you're one that's going to keep that, guess what? I'm going to make sure that I bless you and your offspring. There will come a time when the mantle, if you will, falls from you and is taken out by your children. This is what we're preparing our kids for. I'm going to mention a couple of things here. I'm going to mention some things. Again, if I don't share something with you that's slightly different, then I'm not doing my job. If you take a look and you understand what the Most High has given unto us when it comes to the Scriptures and when it comes to his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, we really have to know that, listen, one thing that should be very, very clear is that there is always going to be a passing of the baton. There's always going to be a passing of the baton. No individual is expected to endure forever except the one that is going to come in the Messianic ages, our Messiah. But hey, there is going to be a need for the passing of the baton. So wait a minute. So are you preparing your children? Are you preparing your children to lead, or are you preparing your children to follow? This is very important. Okay? Are you leading your children to lead, or are you leading them to follow? Are you training them to follow, or are you training them to lead? This makes all the difference in the world, okay? And I simply want to say, oh man, this is so major with me. This is so major with me because I simply want to say, and see, and I don't know, I don't want to let. Let me just simply say this. This is so important to me that I feel that we need to really focus on how we train our children and what we're training our children to do. I will say flat-footedly, I do not agree with a lot of the modern day conventions that have been put out there for training our children. They've made it impossible for us to even spank your child nowadays, when back in the day we were kept in line by being spanked. And if you ask me, I feel as if they're preparing our children for incarceration, because now what do? They say, well, you get a timeout. That's what we're going to do for you. You're going to get a timeout. Well, what is that? Well, you put a child in a particular room and you say, you're going to have to stay there. You have a timeout. Or they put them in the corner and say, well, you have a timeout. And what are they doing? They're in a place where they stay for a certain length of time. If that is not a replication of prison, I don't know what is. We tell our children, well, we're gonna let you, have this time out, and so this is what they expect now, and you better not hit them. If you hit them, they have been empowered by the local school system to pick up the phone and to literally report their mothers and their fathers if they feel physically threatened. I don't know about you, but I was the kind of child where I absolutely needed my behind whipped. I needed my behind paddled. I needed a spanking. I needed to be taken out to the shed, whatever you want to call it. I needed that. And guess what? It was a deterrent from me doing things that were wrong. If I know that all I got to do is go through this timeout and sit in the corner and play with some other toys, what punishment is that from doing something wrong? I mean, it's like, you're still going to, look, I'm fine. Nothing's going to hurt me. I can do it. Yeah, sure, they're going to give me a timeout, but so what? I mean, it really does. I feel that it really emboldens the child to lessen their divine fear, if you will, of what is right, what is wrong, even of mama and daddy. I'll never forget the times that when my father would also discipline me I'm talking about taking the belt to my behind. I remember those moments, and I remember that what I did, I'm definitely not going to do that again. It is today's modern day convention that children have been empowered, and it is as if our children are being emboldened to color outside the lines, to do what they want. And now it has become, think about it for a second, back when they would allow certain levels of discipline in the school and in the home, you didn't have policemen coming to the school. You didn't have a police stationed in the school. You didn't have a squad car outside the school as a regular attendee, as if they're a staff member or, like they're a teacher. You didn't have that back then. But hey, our society apparently is stuck on stupid, and it's just not getting the message. As children get worse, now there's school shootings. Are you kidding? Back in the day, you never would have heard of a school shooting. And the fact that our modern day children now have to be aware and cognizant of the possibility of there being a school shooting is absolutely intolerable. Okay? But hey, don't mess with it, because this is America, and yeah, we're the greatest. The greatest at what? Okay? When it comes to our children are our greatest asset. And when we stand and we look at our children and we look at what we have produced, okay? Have you produced someone that is able to lead, or have you produced someone that's able to follow? I'm going to get into the lesson, but I'm sorry, I cannot seem to just leave that point right now. We have to train our children to lead. This is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be training our children so that they are leading. They are ready to lead us into tomorrow. Okay? And it's not as if they're just, all they can do is follow. All they can do is punch someone's clock. And I'm sorry, let me get down off the soapbox. I'm just really passionate when it comes to the children, and I'm passionate when it comes to leading them and guiding them for tomorrow. I do not believe that we are to. Okay, all right. Let me get let me get on to the next thing here, and let's talk about that in relationship to the children, and in relationship to what the Most High has for us in relationship to our children and how we are raising them. So take a look here at certain scriptures when it comes to the child, our children. Notice what it reads here in Psalm 127, and I'm going to highlight it for you so that you are able to read it without a problem. Here we go. Notice what it reads here. It says, "Lo, children are an heritage of Yah, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. We bless the Most High by having children." Again, we bless the Most High by having children. Children are the heritage of the Most High. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of the youth. This is a very powerful scripture. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man. In other words, a man in this particular case that is a mighty man is a man of great skill, a man of great ability, okay? Perhaps even a warrior. And notice what it's saying is that the arrows, even as arrows to a mighty man, so are children in the hands of the Most High. Our children are the instruments that the Most High will use to bring about our tomorrow. I'll say it again. Our children of today are the tools and the instruments that the Most High will use to bring about the tomorrow, our future that the Most High wants us to experience. Period and point blank. So how are you training your children? The Most High spoke of Abraham and said, I know that he's going to take charge over his house. I know that he's going to keep my law, statutes, and I know that he's going to teach these to his children. Okay? That may be alluded, but the Most High knew how Abraham would act regarding his children. So our children, they are a reward for the Most High, and they are as arrows in the hand of the mighty man, so are our children unto the Most High. They are his tools that he's going to use in our tomorrow to bring about the reality of tomorrow. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Look at this. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. Children are not a burden. Children are a blessing. Children are not a burden. Children are a blessing. Okay? And I know how it feels sometimes. Your grandchildren come over and you're glad to see them arrive and you're glad to see them go. Depending upon how young they are and what they get into, I understand that can be the case many a time. But your children are a blessing, right? Your children are a blessing and you love them, but you also need to invest in them, realizing they are your tomorrow. They are our tomorrow and the success of the nation. Our children are the success of the nation. When you see a child not being treated correctly, not being trained effectively, being allowed to just do whatever they want to do, disobey mom, disobey dad, you are ruining the future. You're letting that loose into our future. And there's going to have to be a future reckoning. Okay? Well, let me continue because this is of major importance. Deuteronomy 6, verses 6 and 7. And these are the words. These are the words which I command thee this day. They shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your what? To your children. Okay, it's not just for you to get a revelation, for you to get truth. Notice what he says. I want you to teach these principles and these truths, these commandments. I want you to teach them to your children. And you shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. Okay, this is going to be the agenda of conversation that you have with your children. It may not be thou, thus, and thee, and thou durst. No, you don't have to put it like that, but you can bring out the principles of the law and the truths of the law. You can bring that out and discuss them before your child and make sure that you instill that wisdom in your child. Continuing forward, let's go to Genesis 17 and 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your seed after you. It's not just about you and your relationship with the Most High. It's about your seed, your children having a relationship with the Most High in their generation. Now, when I see in their generation, I see that in their generation and with all the madness that they're going to have to experience, they need to be the seed that's walking in the covenant of the Most High, even in the madness that their generation is going to present. Okay? When I was growing up, listen, my mother and my father never even knew that men would be walking around in dresses, carrying purses, and people would be identifying as cats and puppies and snails. My parents never knew that those things were going to happen, but in my generation and in the generation after me, these things have developed, but still we have to have integrity and walk in the laws, statutes, and commandments and be who we are despite the pressures of society that say that it's okay to do all these things. Okay, we have to live righteously, we have to live uprightly, and we have to have integrity and hold to that. I say it all the time, salt is not afraid to be salt even though it's standing next to the pepper. And I can say the same thing of the pepper. The pepper does not lose its taste, its flavor, and its ability just because it's standing next to the salt. We need the integrity that no matter where we are, we need the kind of integrity in heart and mind that says, you know what, I'm going to be who I am before the Most High, no matter where I am. I don't care what society is saying. And we need to instill this within our children. Okay? For notice what it reads here. I'm going to establish my covenant between me and you and your seed, okay, in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be their Elohim, to be an Elohim unto you and to your seed after you. It's not just about you, Mr. and Mrs. Hebrew. It's about your seed, okay? And you do what you're supposed to do and notice what happens. Basically, the seed inherits the land, all right? The seed inherits the land. Moving forward, Exodus 12, verses 26 through 27. And it shall come to pass, let me go ahead and highlight this for you so you can read it. And it shall come to pass that when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is a sacrifice of Yah's Passover, who passed over the house of the children of Israel in Egypt when he smote. In other words, your children should be involved in the liturgy and in the festive celebrations, the holy days of the Most High. There is a place for our children to take their place and to be involved in that holy thing. With that being the case, the Most High wants you to understand that yes, there is a place for the children, okay? And they're to ask, hey, what is the meaning of all this? What is this? And then we relate to them our history. We give them our narrative, our story, and this is what continues throughout our families. This gives us a sense of identity. This gives us a sense of belonging as community, and this is what's necessary. We could change the world in one generation if we treat our children correctly. We could change the world in one generation if we focus on our children and do what is right. We can change the world in one generation. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way that he should go. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Many people have looked at this and they said, see, that means if you train up your child to love Jesus, when he grow up, he ain't going. Well, see, here's the interesting thing. This scripture has more to do with enrolling your child in what we understand to be more like an apprenticeship. Okay? In other words, you are parenting with purpose. You're parenting because you've observed that child's personality and you see what they can be best at, and you've prayed before the Most High and you have a direction to point the child in. Therefore, you enroll them in a kind of apprenticeship. Okay? Where you train them excellence and integrity and how to be diligent and responsible, and they will not defy those teachings once you give them that apprenticeship. It will remain with them. That is the closer understanding and definition of this particular verse. Train up a child in the way that they are to go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. Our children are important. Our children are our heritage. Our children are necessary in order for us to experience the future. Okay? And our children are the heritage of the Most High, as mentioned before. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at a couple of different things here. Let's take a look at Deuteronomy. Notice what it says. I'm just going to mention these points as I close down. We need to diligently teach them to our children. Not sometime, but diligently. In other words, this is a matter of purpose. This is a matter of necessity. Our future depends upon this. The future state of the nation depends upon this. It's important to us to be diligent in how we respond to our children. Okay? Exodus 12 and 26, and it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean this service? Yeah, that's when you're going to tell them and instill within them the narrative, your family, our family history, our cultural history. That's when you're going to instill that within them. Let me give you this other verse of scripture here in Proverbs 13 and 24. Proverbs 13 and 24 reads, he that spares his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him at times. Now, what does this mean? Okay, many of us have been led to believe that this basically talking about beating your kids. Yeah, don't spoil the rod. Yeah, it mean I'm supposed to beat you. Oh, and I'm supposed to beat you real good too. Oh man, boy, just I'm gonna beat you. Well, see, that's the understanding that was had back in the day, and really this is the measuring rod or the measuring stick that makes sure that the level is maintained whereby your child measures up to. There are measurements, okay, that our children and that even we ourselves are to measure up to. If your little baby comes here, okay, and your baby comes here with a mustache and smoking a cigarette, your child is not at the right level, okay? If your child comes here rather as a baby, eyes are closed, 9 times out of 10 they're sleeping, okay, well, yeah, your baby's at the right level. Each of us have a measuring stick, a measuring rod, and so we're checked to make sure that we're at where we're supposed to be. An example of that is when the Most High speaks of Abraham and says, okay, now you're thinking correctly. This is where I need you to be. You're in the right place. He allowed Abraham to be in a place where he said, hey, you're now thinking right. You're thinking correctly. That's right where I want you, okay? Not that the Most High made Abraham righteous because he believed. No, the Most High was trying to get Abram to a certain state, and when he believed, that is when the Most High said, now you're in the right place, okay? And I'm accounting that you are in the right place, that you're right the way that I want you to be. Not that he did everything righteous and that he was without reproach. No, the Most High just simply wanted him in a certain state so that he would understand what the Most High was going to do. Well, there is a measuring line, and you're to keep that measuring line at the height that it is and make sure that your child walks the line, okay? And when you let go of that and let go of standards and let go of things, then, yeah, you're showing that you don't love your child. You just let them do anything. Well, another scripture here as we close. Notice what it reads here, but yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return. I'm sorry, hold on here. Let me make sure that I have. Let me go up here. Excuse me. All right, I think I included the wrong scripture here. I apologize. I apologize for that, but this is what I want you to see. Okay, Proverbs 1 and 7. Now notice in fact, this is so good. Let me go ahead and begin at one of these verses up here. I'm even going to begin at verse number 1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of Dawid, Hamelech of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction. Now, stop. Please understand that the entire book of Proverbs was written for Solomon's son. Solomon wrote Proverbs, or the purpose of Proverbs is for Solomon's son. Okay? This is how serious they were of giving knowledge to the next generation. Solomon, in wisdom, gave the book of Proverbs and wrote the book of Proverbs for his son. Let that sink in. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple. In other words, to give you the ability to discern and to become wise in what you see. To the young man, knowledge and discretion. The book of Proverbs should be what you give your children in a form that they can receive, but the book of Proverbs is really what you should give to them. The book of Proverbs is wisdom for the youth, wisdom for today's child. Okay? As this is the last verse, or last passages that I'm going to read, to receive the instruction, the wisdom, justice, and judgment. We need to teach our children not only wisdom, but what is justice and judgment and equity. What is worth? What does it mean to be worth something? What does it mean to dress like you're worth something? What does it mean to act like you're worth something? Equity. What does it mean to be valuable? Okay? To give, again, subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings, the words of the wise and their dark sayings, because the way that the wise speak, their words are encrypted. The fear of Yah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Look at verse number 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For both of these combined together, they will be an ornament of grace about your head and chains about your neck. Okay? Looking at it very plainly, and I know I've taken up a lot of time, and I apologize, but this is so important because our children are so important. They are our future. Because they are so important, I know I've taken time, but it's needful for us to understand the importance of our children and how we must focus more diligently on giving our children wisdom and truth, rather than just putting them in front of a television or a device to keep them quiet. But we need to give them wisdom so that they have a divine peace. There is a big difference. Many parents are just seeking to keep their children quiet and entertained so that they don't bother anyone, right? Or even them, rather than making sure that they have the divine peace that comes by everything being in its right place. I'm Melky Uriel. Thank you very much. This has been the main topic. I'm going to tiptoe into the chat room to see what you all are talking about. Now is the time for questions and comments. All right, taking a look, and taking a look at the chat room. See, I appreciate the words of Morey. Morey Yeshaya Torah Lesson says, I just got back in my little one's life. She is now 19, and Trust. This is needed. Well, peace and blessings to you, my brother. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you this. There is something about the relationship between a father and his daughter. The father really is the first image of manhood that the daughter comes in contact with. Okay. And the daughter has, it's interesting, but the daughter will forever, I don't care what the situation is, I don't care even if they're fighting, but there will always be a connection between daughters and fathers, even though if it may be unspoken, if there's seemingly hatred between them, there is always going to be a connection there that cannot be tainted, that cannot be taken away, because the daughter is the father is the first image of humanity, or even mankind, or the man, the male, the person that she's going to choose as a husband. The father is the first image of what being a man is to her. Okay? And it's from then that her idea of what a man is and how the world even works stems from her father. And I'm yet today working on, relationships with my children and even my daughter. And yeah, I pray that the Most High bless you in that, Moray, because with her being willing, trust me, she's going to be blessed by being able to interact with you, a knowledgeable man like yourself. And I really do pray that the Most High blesses you and strengthens her and gives her everything that she needs. Okay, gives her everything that she needs. Okay. Yeah, he says, glad that we are cool with me and the child. Okay, good. I love to see reconciliation in relationships. I really do love to see that. Glad that that's happening. If anyone else has a comment or a question, please address, and please make sure that my name is in it. And George Evans says, kids truly are a blessing, and they are. So yeah. All right, I'm looking. Okay. Well, I don't see too many other questions or comments regarding this topic. So with that being the case, I think that we will just continue forward. George Evans says, my daughter, 22, is a daddy's girl. My twin, we talk every day. I pray the best for her and my son every day and every night. See, that's a blessing. I love that. I'll never forget when my daughter was born. Man, when my daughter was born, man, my boys were born, but I'll be honest with you, I'll never forget when my daughter was born, and as she was growing up, man, she was just my little sweetheart, man. She was just, I'll never forget those days of sitting on daddy's knee, and, I'll just never forget. And peace and blessings to KOI Oklahoma. Peace and blessings to you. Children are definitely our heritage, okay? And so it's really important for us to take care of the relationships that we have with our children, because they are looking to us to help them get through tomorrow, to get through their lives, okay? They need us to help them with stability and truth. And so, hey, thank you for your time. What we're going to do is we're going to get into the next segment. Yeah, going to get into the next segment in just a little bit. Be right back. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom. All right, I needed to pause for just a second, only because a question did come through from KOI, Oklahoma. And it reads, what if your children were raised in Christianity before you came into the truth of Yah? Thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. One of the things I have to say about that is I actually have led my children into... well, I do have experience of leading my children out of Christianity, okay, and into something else. Back then, my children understood who I was, and they understood my character. For me to be involved in something, they knew that, hey, man, if dad is on that, then I need to seriously check that out, or I need to believe it, you know. And I'm going to tell you, while there were many conversations about this new way, this new understanding, the first major conversation that I had with them did, I want to say, 80% of the work. Once I sat down with them and I spoke with them, they understood. And a lot of times I think that our children, depending on the ages, right? My children were teenagers, and they were in their early teens to mid-teens. But when you lay things out and you give them an understanding, a lot of times, if it's something that they really need to listen to and it's really serious, and something like this that's like life-changing, my children, all of them, now this includes my 3 biological children, but also 3 other children that my biological children brought home and said, Daddy, they need us. So in essence, it's like I had 6 children. All of them were like, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to follow what you're saying. It was almost like a scene from the book of Ruth, where she says to Naomi, you know, your God is going to be my God, your people are going to be my people, where you go, I will go. I mean, it was kind of like that. Now, that's not every person's situation, I know. But at the same time, our children are a lot more resilient and understanding than what we may think. And really sitting down with them, talking with them, having a very serious conversation with them made all the difference in the world. Now, after that, I had to demonstrate truth, walk in truth, and that's ultimately what got them and what they began to see, okay, was my demonstration of the truth and my standing on the truth, even in difficult times. That won them over more so than anything else. But to give them the general understanding of awareness, my having that serious conversation, or I'll even say serious number of conversations with them, made all the difference in the world. Okay. Christine Croning says, my children were raised Christian before I came into the truth. She says, I share with them now, but they don't quite understand it. I will never stop teaching them by my lifestyle. And that's exactly what I'm saying. by my lifestyle and my actions and my words. They are adults now. Now, the interesting thing, my sister brings up an excellent point. With them being adults now, okay, the dynamics kind of change a little bit to where now that they're adults, they can make up their own mind for themselves. And so it's up to them to continue to embrace the truth that has been presented. A lot of times they don't make that choice, but hey, you're providing the choice, and once their hearts are prepared, they will then be open to the truth. All right, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. I tell you what, let me give it just a few more seconds, and then I'm going to move on because I don't know if there's another question or comment coming. Be right back. Okay, I just saw a question. My sister Christine Croning asked, Leonie asked if she can call in. Listen, family, I apologize. The reason why I'm a little bit late is because I was still trying to work this issue out with the phone. It seems as if the phone carrier that I did have is no longer available. They stopped things and they chopped it off at the neck, and it's like, hey, the call-in line is not working. It is not working right now. And I apologize for that. So it's going to be perhaps another week before I get it straightened out. And I'd love to get it straightened out before Yom Ravi'i. So still working on it. But hey, as of right now, I apologize. The call-in line is still not working. We're straightening it out, but it's not completely fixed yet. So give us a second. And we are going to get to This Is Crazy. A question does come from my sister Jacqueline E. Bugs, who says, does scripture say that only those that believe correctly will be coming into the new kingdom? No. The Tanakh does not say that only those that are believing correctly. In fact, there are many verses of scripture in the Tanakh that say that the Most High is going to do a certain thing, and then it reads, and then you shall know that I am the Lord your God. So there are many things in the Tanakh, which is backwards of the Christian New Testament, many things that are backwards where you don't have to believe anything. The Most High says, I'm going to do this, and by the way, once I do it, then you are going to know that I am Yah, I am the Most High. And looking at that, well, you understand that, that's why I did this particular session called The Fallacy of Faith. The fallacy of faith basically shows that the Most High doesn't need you to believe in him for him to work. Okay? Again, that is a Christian invention, which is more so tied into Gnosticism and manifestation than it is walking in the ways of the Most High. All right, so now we're going to maybe get to something crazy. So we're going to have a little bit different of a crazy session here. This crazy is really talking about what we're dealing with in this particular place we call the US of A right now. Okay? So hey, let's get ready.
Jeffrey Sachs, thanks so much for joining us on Upfront.
I'm delighted to be with you.
You said that we're now living in a multipolar world with major powers like Russia, China, India asserting their own influence, whether that's economic or political. You've also said that the U.S. sort of state is in decline. Can you explain why you think that is and how that's come to pass where we have this new arrangement of power?
Now, please understand that what we're talking about here, as he just stated, is a new arrangement of power. The new arrangement of power basically says that the United States, the way things are going, it would appear that the United States is no longer going to be the central nucleus around which all the modern world orbits. Okay? It is as if the power structure and the power systems are changing and changing rapidly. So let's continue to listen.
We have a new arrangement of power because these other parts of the world have made a lot of economic and technological progress. So China was a poor...
Okay, I don't know if you caught that last statement. I don't know if you caught that last statement. But he said, what he said was that now we have a multipolar state of politics and nationality and so forth and so on. We have a multipolar stage of influence, okay? And notice the reason that he gave. Because these nations have been developing and progressing when it comes to technology and when it comes to their economies. I mean, like, do you hear that? So what that is then saying is that in order for a particular regime to maintain power over the world, they have to keep those other would-be powers underneath their foot by maintaining a level, a ceiling of their progress, their technology, and their economic growth.
country 40 years ago. It is now a quite wealthy and technologically advanced country. I'd say it's at the cutting edge of many of the most important technologies. How did they get there? Very hard work, very high investment rates, very good strategy, serious planning. They thought ahead, they worked hard at it, and they were successful. This is the main fact. A second fact is a basic technological fact, which we kind of understood in the Cold War and kind of forgot after 1991, but it's a real truth every moment of our lives. And that is because of nuclear weapons and because other countries have a lot of them, we can't defeat those countries. So the world's intrinsically multipolar in the sense, don't mess with another nuclear superpower, can really wreck your day. And we forgot that after 1991. Why 1991? That was the year that the Soviet Union dissolved into 15 states. And the American elite said...
So just take a look at this, if you will, and understand that what's crazy about all this, what's crazy about all this is that the United States, the political regime that we're now being entertained by, they believe that they still are the center of the world's universe and that everything revolves around them. And the isolationist ideas of the person that's in office right now is saying America first. Basically, America first, America alone, and what is being implied by this is America above everybody else. When they're between what BRICS is doing and between what even this president is doing, causing a great deal of uncertainty when it comes to treasury bonds. People are not trusting the dollar the way that they used to. With that, along with BRICS and along with everything that's happening, my brothers and my sisters, I see Mene, Mene, Tekel Upharsin written on the walls of America. And I don't feel like it's going to be long before America embraces, its third world home. So, with that being the case, I simply want to say it's crazy what's going on. It's simply crazy when you think about it that a people feel like they can colonize the entire planet, okay? Colonize everywhere. And oh, by the way, you're still going to respect us no matter what, while they increase in technology, while they increase with their economy and their products, and while they increase militarily. Somehow the United States believes, no, we deserve to be on top. We're still going to be on top no matter what. And I think one day the bubble's going to burst and all of America is going to really come to grips with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I'm sorry, on that day, I guarantee you, it's just going to be crazy. Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom.
Hey kids, it's Money Monday. See how things are going with your money. It's Money Monday. Today, I just wanted to check in with you to see how things are going with your money. A recent study showed up to 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So if you're one of them, my hope is that with some small changes to how you manage your money, it will help you get out of that stressful lifestyle. Have you set up a budget? Remember, a budget is just a plan.
Oh, he said the B word, y'all. He said the B word, budget.
And failing to plan, unfortunately, is planning to fail. Are you paying yourself first? If you're putting that off, it's actually costing you more than the money saved because you're also missing out on the compound interest of that money. I hope you take this dad advice in the spirit in which it is intended. I truly just want what's best for you. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.
With Hebrew money, I just simply want to say, we as Hebrews, our financial standing and our financial investments should basically be different than what everyone else is doing. I'm not saying completely different, but definitely different. Our approach should be different, and we should have a little bit of a cornered market here, if you will. What I mean by that is simply this: when it comes to finances and when it comes to the wisdom that the Most High has given us, we should really be doing better than a whole bunch of other people. So I want to interject that where we are not doing better than others financially, because we're walking in the blessings of the Most High, walking in the covenant of the Most High, I simply want to interject that in those areas where you're not doing better, it's because you're duplicating what others are doing. Okay, that's not according to the will of the Most High. We have a minister of economics here, and for those of you that are here, for those of you that are in the chat room, for those of you, see, this is why you should get into the chat room, because as our moderator now shares his email address, there is a way for you for you to begin to invest in your future. And you know, one thing I love about Brother Adrian is not only is he knowledgeable, not only is he honest and upfront, okay, but he's considerate, he's kind, he's tactful, but also too, he, you know, I heard it said years ago, never hire a coach that's never played the game. Never hire a coach that's never played the game. And he's played the game. He has the success. He has bragging rights. He knows what he's doing. And so with that being the case, if you were here in the chat room, you could then, you could then actually connect with our brother Adrian, who's the Minister of Economics, and really gain some pointers. I apologize. In fact, what I'm going to do, Brother Adrian, I think that you still have my number. If you wanted to call in, please use my number, my personal number, that I'm pretty sure that you have. And do call in, because I would want to hear what you need to say about our Hebrew money and about finances. I would love for you to be able to interject. So if you would like to, please use my personal number. Since our phone line is not working, use my personal number, and feel free to give me a call, and I'll put you on the air, and we'll talk, right? We'll have a conversation. And yeah. And I'm going to say to Christine Cronin, I know for a lot of us, we feel the same way. We wish that we had to learn about these truths earlier, right? Because mom and dad did not sit down and talk with us about finances. A lot of times we saw them worry about bills, but we never saw the successful side of how to deal with money. And so we're trying to rectify that right now. So the invitation is out there, Brother Adrian, and I'm going to hang on for just a little bit in case you want to do that. If not, then we will move on, and we'll pretty much go from there. I know last week you said that you weren't able to call in. Just want to give you the opportunity, even though the phone line is not working. The other main phone line is not working. So, all right. Gonna give it just a little bit more. I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Melchior Uriel, and I'm so delighted to meet you. I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad that you're curious, and I'm glad that you clicked on the video.
All right. Our brother says that he does not have my number, so we're going to go ahead and connect with him on next Shabbat, Yah willing, and preferably, hey, there will be a resolution to this phone issue that we've been dealing with. So, hey, we do hope that that is going to be the case, and we will be patient, and we will wait until then. And at this particular point, yeah, we're getting ready to, hey, get into another segment. It's time for the Controversial Corner.
Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
In the silent corridors of ancient temples, where incense once burned and chants echoed off stone walls, a different version of heaven's greatest rebellion was quietly preserved, one that never made its way into the common Western canon. It is the story of Lucifer's fall, but not as you know it. For while most of the world has come to understand this celestial revolt through the lens of the Latin Vulgate, later Protestant Bibles, or medieval European theology, Ethiopia, a land of timeless mystery and ancient devotion, has safeguarded a version far older and strikingly different. This version, found within the sacred pages of the Ethiopian Bible, tells a tale not of pride alone, but of heavenly order, divine mystery, and a cosmic trial lost in translation. It is a story passed through the Guizi tongue, embedded in manuscripts long protected by monks high in the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, and hidden from the world by mountains, deserts, and centuries of colonial erasure. The Ethiopian Bible, specifically the Ethiopic Book of Enoch and Book of the Mysteries of Heaven and Earth, offers a view of Lucifer not as the poetic antihero of Milton's imagination, nor simply as the allegorical fallen star of Isaiah, but as a spiritual being with a complex purpose and fate. The Lucifer of these Ethiopian texts is not merely condemned for vanity or ambition, but is involved in a cosmic disagreement over the creation of humankind, the design of divine hierarchy, and the nature of obedience. His fall, rather than a melodramatic plunge, is rendered as a result of his resistance to what he perceived as a flawed divine plan, the elevation of Adam and Eve above celestial beings. In the Guizi manuscripts, particularly the conflict of Adam and Eve with Satan, we encounter the angelic being who would become Satan not as a serpent, but as a powerful entity who refuses to bow before clay. According to Ethiopian tradition, when God created Adam, he commanded all the angels to prostrate themselves before this new being made of dust. Most did so in humble obedience, but one, Azazel or Satanael, refused. Not out of simple arrogance, but from a theological protest. He argued that he was created before man, of fire and light, and should not be made to serve flesh. This act of refusal was not initially framed as rebellion against God's authority, but as a defense of divine order as he understood it. In this framework, Lucifer did not see himself as opposing God, but defending an older principle of celestial hierarchy. This view can be found reflected in parts of the Book of Enoch, a deeply revered text in Ethiopian Christianity, though considered apocryphal or even heretical by Western churches. In Enoch, the fall of angels centers around more than pride. It involves divine secrets, forbidden knowledge, and an intersection between heavenly beings and earthly life. Enoch's fallen watchers, angels who descend to earth to mate with human women and teach forbidden arts, are said to have taught humans metallurgy, enchantment, cosmetics, and astrology. While this group differs from Lucifer in name, many Ethiopian scholars see connections between the Watchers and the rebellion of Lucifer, linking both to an original celestial crime rooted in defiance of divine will. What makes the Ethiopian perspective uniquely compelling is that it does not treat Lucifer's fall as a simple binary of good versus evil. Instead, it frames the rebellion as a theological debate within the heavenly host. Some Ethiopian commentaries suggest that Lucifer, or Satanael, was once a high-ranking angel given power over the lower realms. His refusal to bow to Adam was not because he hated God, but because he misunderstood, or perhaps deeply disagreed with, the divine plan to exalt humankind. He believed his loyalty to God was best.
So let me pause right here and let me just simply interject that, yeah, this is controversial because there's many belief systems that hold to this. Okay, there's even some derivations of this. and even some of the other religions that you know of, and if I call the name of them, you'd be like, oh, okay, they believe that too. Well, there's renditions of that in their religion where you hear many things like in Islam. Some believe that, that Yeshua ben Yosef had a brother, and there's, it gets very sticky, it gets very involved. Some people even go off the deep end and they say that, well, Hasatan, that he has, lots of power, and the reason why the Most High can't get rid of him is because he's so powerful. I mean, you've got so many different variations of this particular narrative here that it becomes controversial only when you consider that within the Christian concept and in the Christian motif, the Most High keeps Satan around for some reason that no one can seemingly define. In the Christian religion, in the Christian thought, no one knows why the Most High keeps Satan around for so long. And here's something that is even of greater question. In the book of Revelation, where the Most High supposedly releases the devil for 1,000 years for some unknown reason, he's going to spend all this time and he's going to grab him and put him in chains and then for some reason release him for another 1,000 years, knowing that according to the Christian New Testament, he's come to kill, steal, and destroy. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense why the supreme being would say, hey, I know that this person, they're going to do nothing but kill, steal, and destroy, but hey, guess what? Let me let them out so that they can play for 1,000 years. It does not make any sense. Okay? And with that being the case, it's just one of those issues where when you look at the controversy involved, whether or not the B'nai Elohim, whether or not they are really and truly serving the Most High, despite his, I don't want to say a deification, but his lifting the status of humanity to a point of not being fully and completely divine, but definitely being holy and divine in that sense. Yeah, it's interesting to see that, like, when you read the scriptures and it says that they're encamped round about us because we love and we fear the Most High, there are Malachim who are yet faithful to the charge of the Most High, according to the scriptures. And according to the scriptures, all of them are, okay? And this is what makes this controversial, because when you, once again, when you hop over the fence and step into the Christian worldview, which, by the way, is more so akin to Zoroastrianism, with this strong polar duality, where you have this, good and evil, and one's fighting against the other, and this, you got this battle between a devil and a god, and everyone's asking why if the Most High has so much power, why doesn't he just get rid of this dude once and for all? Bottom line of it is, it's a lie. It's not true, okay? And in fact, let me let y'all in on something. See, something that is crazy. I asked AI to comparatively analyze Christianity and the way that we might embrace as ancient Judaism, or the way that we served the Most High back in the day, as is denoted in the Tanakh. And I asked AI to also consider history and consider the methods, means, and modes of operation of our normal day. And I said, based upon these things, tell me which system, whether it's Christianity or it's the way or ancient Judaism, which one of these ways would be more than likely true and more feasible to be true based upon the evidence at hand. And AI came back, and AI gave me specific reasons why the way that is found in the Tanakh would be the way that is the truth, and why Christianity would not be the truth. It said that basically its analysis was unbiased, Okay, its analysis was unbiased, and that the information at hand that it used, I mean, it gave me everything. Okay, so looking at it, it's just one of those things that's like, hey, even AI can see, right? That this way in which we live is the right way, in the way of the Tanakh. The Most High is ruling and reigning over all things and all beings. And in this way, for us, it is no longer controversial. All right, Brother George Evans asks a question that is actually a very good question. He wants to know if whether or not Yahwism itself, if they embrace the laws of the Most High. And in essence, Yahwism itself does embrace the overall concept and the construct of a divine being truly laying down the law, so to speak, but it operates in different parameters, if you will. It operates in a different format. Within Yahwism, the deities involved are very, no pun intended, but they're very down to earth, in the sense that they have parties, they drink, they relate with one another, they exhibit emotions, intellect, desires. In fact, it can be said that the deities within Yahwism are very human, okay? And with that being the case, they do not follow the stipulated laws of the Most High as you and I might consider them to be. They're within Yahwism, the deities listed show a level of autonomy, okay? They're given lots of latitude, and it's almost like when assignments are given, they can take their time, they can fulfill those obligations any way that they see fit. They can either destroy something to get it done or create something to get it done. It's just really very different. Yahwism paints a very different picture of the spiritual terrain, something very different than what we get in 1 Kings 22 and 22. Looking at it then, Yahwism is very different. They do not have the same set of laws that we do, but the hierarchical system of there being a divine being and then lesser beings that are divine, that is definitely there, as we see the Most High and the B'nai Elohim. That is definitely there. That is definitely parallel. And I'll just leave it there because I could get lengthy in my responses. I'm trying not to do that. So thank you for that question, my brother George Evans. And so, hey, let's take this further. It's time for How Hebrew Are You? Do I know about the Book of Psalms? Do I know about the Book of Psalms? Question number 1. What is the primary theme found throughout the Book of Psalms? What is the primary theme found throughout the book of Psalms? Is the correct response A, historical laws and legal codes? Or is it B, worship, praise, and personal prayer? Or is it C, dietary instructions and priestly garments? Or is it D, for none of the above? Michael Charles Marsh is the first to weigh out with a B. Calm Solitude, Peace and Blessings to You, weighs out with a B. Mariska Parker, That Intelligent Woman, weighs out with a B. George Evans with a B. Miss H weighs out with a B. And Terry also weighs in with a B. And we're waiting for others. Who else wants to weigh in? Kanaya Israel weighs in with the B. Christine Croning weighs in with the B. KOI Oklahoma also weighs in with the B. Looks like we have a consensus. What is the correct answer? What is the primary theme found throughout the book of Psalms? It is worship, praise, and personal prayer. Worship, praise, and personal prayer. Reference comes to us from Psalms 104, which says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise." Congratulations to those that did get the correct answer, which was B. Question number 2. According to Psalms, what is the beginning of wisdom? Well, I know we all can get this one. According to Psalms, what is the beginning of wisdom? Mariska Parker's the first to weigh in with a C. Calm Studios also weighs in with a C. Terry comes in with a C. Michael Charles Marsh comes in with a C as well. George Evans weighs in with a C. Jacqueline E. Buggs weighs in with a C as well. Minor Logic weighs in with a B. KOI Oklahoma weighs in with The Fear of Yah, C. Miss H weighs in with C. Kanaya Israel weighs in with the C. My brother Ben Naphtali weighs in with the C. And the answer is, as you may have guessed, as you already know, the answer is C. According to Psalms, what is the beginning of wisdom? Well, it's the fear of the Most High, the fear of Yah. Psalms 111 and 10, the fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom. Question 3. Question number 3. Which psalm is the longest chapter in the entire Tanakh? Which of the psalms is the longest one in the entire Tanakh? Is the correct answer Psalm 1? Is the correct answer Psalm 119? Is it Psalm 91? Or is the correct response none of the above? Miss H was the first to weigh in with a B. Mariska Parker with the B. Calm Studios with the B. Michael Charles Marsh, B. George Evans, B. Jacqueline E. Bugs weighs in with the C. And you know that Mariska Parker's smart, y'all. Terry weighs in with the B. Kanaya Israel weighs in with a B. Ben Naftali weighs in with the B. Who else wants to weigh in? And the correct answer is the correct answer is B. Psalm 119. Psalm 119 has 176 verses. Question number 4. What is the main focus of Psalm 1? The history of Israel's kings? Is it the fate of wicked nations? Or is it C, the contrast between the righteous and the wicked? Or is it D, none of the above? Michael Charles Marsh is the first to weigh in with the C. Mariska Parker weighs in with the C. George Evans weighs in with the C. Terry weighs in with the D. Ben Naftali weighs in with the C. Kanaya Israel weighs in with a C. Miss H weighs in with a C. Calm Studios weighs in with the C. Strangers Among Israel, you are welcome, my brother. Glad to see you here. Strangers Among Israel weighs in with the C. Jacqueline E. Bugs weighs in with the C. Does anyone else want to weigh in? Going once, going twice. The answer is C. Referenced by Psalms 1:6. What is the main focus of Psalms 1? The answer is C. The contrast between the righteous and the wicked. Psalms 1:6 reads, "For Yah watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction." Congratulations to everyone that did get correct answers. This has been How Hebrew Are You? It's time. How Hebrew Are You? your chance to show how much you know. From learning It's time for the Scholar Spotlight. All right, my brothers and sisters, we're going to take a look at the Scholar Spotlight, but I want to, hopefully I can bring this up. If I can find it, hold on. I wanted to bring something up if I could find it. That would kind of relate to what we're talking about here, but you know what? It doesn't look like that's going to work. So, hey, let's just keep it moving here. I apologize, but hey, in the Scholar Spotlight, there have been many scholars to point to the fact that we as the people of Israel, that we are, basically we're on a number of different continents. For those of you that do not know, those who claim the Hebrew heritage are not just in America, not just in Africa, also in Asia, but not just Asia. There are people that, to look upon them, you would swear that they were Chinese, Japanese, or some other Asian derivation, and being Hebrew would be the last thing that you would think of, but they claim the Hebrew heritage. Well, it's the same, believe it or not, for another group of individuals who are resident of the continent of Africa. And there are individuals who are more accepting of other peoples as belonging to this group of the chosen. And for some reason, they want to exclude others. So in this particular session here, it's interesting to look at what the scholars are saying in relationship to this group of people that are on the African continent that may be genetically and culturally linked to the Hebrews, but for whatever reason have chosen to walk in another direction. That being the case, let's check it out.
Are either Christian or Muslim. But in a corner of southeast Nigeria, some members of the Igbo tribe keep kosher, pray in synagogues, and celebrate Jewish holidays, which makes them Jewish, right? Well, depends on who you ask. Under traditional Jewish law, Jews are those who were born to a Jewish mother or have formally converted to Judaism. And yet, many Nigerians see the Igbo as Jewish regardless of what they practice or believe. As for the Igbo themselves, well, they're split. Some identify as Jews, others don't. So who's right? And why is Igbo identity so complicated? The Igbo people have lived in what we now call Nigeria for thousands of years. They're known for their sophisticated metalwork and glass-making techniques, not to mention a unique banking system that's still in use today. Plus, they have been practicing a form of democracy for centuries. Until European Christian missionaries showed up in the 19th century, the Igbo practiced a traditional religion they called Omenana. Some of their customs included circumcising their sons, offering burnt sacrifices, and undergoing various purification rituals. The most uncommon of these rituals involves sending a goat out into the wilderness to carry away the community's sins, which will become relevant in a minute. You'll find similar customs throughout Africa. So, what makes the Igbo unique? Well, according to the anthropologist Dr. Daniel Liss, a lot. Dr. Liss began studying the Igbo after a chance encounter with an Igbo man at a bar in Switzerland. And he points out that some Igbo customs have an unusual twist.
Circumcision is quite widespread in Africa. That doesn't prove anything. But then you could say, okay, what's the date the circumcision is performed? Circumcision on the 8th day is right there in the first sources on the Igbo.
Plus, remember that whole sending a goat out into the desert to carry away sins? Well, that sounds a lot like an ancient Israelite custom. Ever heard of scapegoats? That's where the concept comes from. So are these overlapping practices merely a coincidence? Or do they indicate an ancient connection? Long before they knew of the Igbo's existence, many Jews and Christians believed that Africa might be home to a hidden pocket of Israelites. Why? The Talmud claims that some portions of the 10 lost tribes ended up in Africa. Plus, the biblical book of Zephaniah states that dispersed Israelites will return from beyond the rivers of Cush. So when the British Empire sent expeditions up the river Niger, the UK's chief rabbis handed colonial authorities a pack of letters written in Hebrew, just in case they happened to encounter any tribes of Israel. To our knowledge, they didn't find anyone who spoke Hebrew, but they did find something interesting. You created...
So with that being the case, if you take a look, brothers and sisters, there is something called cultural anthropology, and in it, a given culture is looked at for its cultural memory, its own supporting narrative, right? In other words, what they always say about the people themselves, like what they're saying about themselves, what is their history, what is their culture, and it is by means of these markers within cultural anthropology that individuals can track and trace which culture belongs to a given people. Just like someone's DNA, which continues to live within that person, also a person's psycho-spirituality, a person's ability to get along as a culture, their society, it really does go along with the person. It goes along with them. And so by means of tracing these traditions and these truths and these practices, we can understand which cultures are connected to which people. And so out of that, with cultural anthropology, and of course there's a number of different other things like artwork and language and so forth and so on, we find that that the Igbo, as we're going to see here, that the Igbo actually do have many similarities and many connections to the ancient Hebrew people.
Brought along Christian missionaries to teach locals about the Bible, which recorded letters written in Hebrew, just in case they happened to encounter any tribes of Israel. To our knowledge, they didn't find anyone who spoke Hebrew, but they did find something interesting. The British, who set up shop in parts of West Africa, brought along Christian missionaries to teach locals about the Bible, which records the story of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. And as the Igbo were learning about and even converting to Christianity, they referred to themselves as descendants of the ancient Israelites. They recognized their customs in the customs of the Hebrew Bible. British missionaries loved this. It supported their narrative that Christianity is the natural evolution of Judaism. But had the Igbo always identified...
Wrong. Christianity is not the natural. Christianity is not the natural evolution of the ancient ways of the Tanakh. It just simply is not. It is a reversal of many of the concepts within the Tanakh, but it is definitely not the sequel.
This way? Or did this identification start once the Brits showed up? Like everything to do with the Igbo, depends who you ask. Traditional Igbo leaders will tell you that their people have always identified as descendants of the tribe of God.
So when I was growing up in Nigeria, everybody proudly said, oh yes, Igbos came from Israel, the land of Israel. It was a common knowledge. We all said it loudly. We didn't care who said about it.
Most academics disagree, believing this connection only started after the British arrived. Either way, one thing is indisputable. By the late 1800s, leading Igbo intellectuals were writing at length about their connection to the ancient Israelites. Though most Igbo practiced Christianity, some began to take an interest in Judaism. But like stereotypical Jews, they all took a different approach. Some mixed Christian and Jewish rituals with their ancestral traditions, forming the Sabbatharian movement. Some went back to their ancestral religion, Homenana, which they believed to be biblical Judaism.
Now, did you catch that? Did you? I don't know if you all caught that last part. Let me rewind just that little bit, so that you can catch it. Hold on.
Typical Jews, they all took a different approach. Some mixed Christian and Jewish rituals with their ancestral traditions, forming the Sabbatharian movement.
And by the way, I'm sorry, but that sister in the back, like almost like right above my head, and a little farther away, standing right in front of that little boy in the blue, she reminds me of so many of my people in the church.
Some went back to their ancestral religion, Omenana, which they believed to be biblical Judaism.
Now, did anyone catch that? Did anyone catch that line? Did anyone catch that? Okay. The idea that Omenana is the Yorub's, the Igbo's expression of ancient Judaism is amazing. Okay? Omenana as a spiritual practice, for that to be the mirror of ancient Judaism is mind-blowing to me. Okay? And so, in this particular scholar spotlight, we find, you look at the Mennonites. Yeah, thank you, my brother. My brother Adrian sees a connection between Omenana and the Mennonites, okay, which is completely different. But my point of it is, it's interesting to note that once again there are these spiritual and cultural connections between ancient Judaism and between the practices of the Igbo. Just a little bit more, then we're going to our last wonderful segment that I've been waiting for.
And then, Rabbinic Judaism came to Igbo land.
We have a rabbi!
That is the form of Judaism that most Jews practice today. You know, lighting Hanukkah candles, holding Passover seders, praying in synagogues, and rocking out to the Miami Boys Choir. Okay, maybe that's just me. And so, some Igbo began incorporating rabbinic Jewish rituals into their practice, while others embraced it full on. So let's recap, because things are about to get wild. Many Igbo identify with an ancient Israelite origin. Of these, only a tiny minority actually practices rabbinic Judaism. So only that tiny minority identifies as Jewish, right? Not so fast. There's one more complication in the mix.
The moment the British entered the picture in the Igbo history, in Nigeria, in the evolvement of the Nigerian state, the British bring along their kind of anti-Semitism.
Now, hate isn't specific to any one culture. Every society has its prejudices and scapegoats. Yes, that's a callback.
You're dealing with...
So I want you to see this next part, and it's going to be a little interesting here. He's going to say something that I think is amazing.
Now, historically, different ethnic groups in Nigeria had minimal contact with one another. Each group had their own system of government. But in 1900, the British turned Nigeria into a colony. Callback.
Okay,
now,
I want you to hear what he said.
Different ethnic groups in Nigeria had minimal contact with one another. Each group had their own system of government. But in 1900, the British turned Nigeria into a colony, which brought each of Nigeria's ethnic groups into competition for power and opportunities. And when different groups compete for resources, trouble is sure to follow. The Igbo were a highly successful ethnic minority with unique cultural practices, which opened them up to a lot of hatred. The Brits gave this hatred a new language, a new set of tropes and stereotypes. So as the Igbo left their homeland in search of opportunities, they encountered a form of prejudice that looked a lot like anti-Semitism. Because anti-Semitism, unlike other forms of hatred, is rooted in conspiracy theories about a small group of people pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
The image that the Igbo are money-loving people, very greedy and domineering, it's a conspiracy theories,
Sound familiar? It's basically lifted from the anti-Semites playbook. Anti-Semites don't care how you identify. They don't care if you're religious, if you're on the right or the left. They don't even care if other Jews accept you as Jewish or not, because anti-Semitism isn't rational.
When I was growing up in Nigeria, it became a thing that your parents would call into the bedroom and tell you, look, Remember, no matter how much of the other language you think you speak or you think you can identify as them, they all know you're Igbo first, and second, you know we come from Israel. They don't like you as an Igbo person, and they know that we come from Israel. Mind how you walk.
Nigeria achieved independence in 1960. It was a moment of hope for all its people who were tired of British rule. But establishing a post-colonial country is never easy, and the instability brought with it terrible anti-Igbo violence.
The Igbo were purged from the military, from everywhere, from government positions, from universities, outside of Igbo land. So in order to survive, really, millions of Igbo had to go back to the southeast.
So it didn't matter whether the Igbo saw themselves as descendants of ancient Israelites. It didn't matter if most of them actually practiced Christianity. And it definitely didn't matter if Jews outside of Nigeria accepted them as Jewish. As far as they were concerned, they were being violently attacked for tropes that looked and felt like Jew hatred. Just like the Jewish people, the Igbo found themselves fleeing back to their native homeland to escape persecution. And just like the Jewish people, they wanted to be the masters of their own destinies. So in 1967, they did something that the Nigerian government really didn't like. They seceded.
Tesla. So with this, I'm going to end it right here, only because the interesting thing that he's bringing out, which is what I want all of you to understand, is that while we're asking questions about whether or not the Igbo are truly of Hebrew origin and descent, they're still being treated as if they are, and people are hating on them in mass numbers as they do us. And so it bears to reason that while many scholars are scratching their head and saying, is it possible, is it true, the reality of the nature is that, hey, they're being treated like they are, so there's got to be some truth to that, right? Looking at a question here coming to us from Christine Croning, she says the original land of Israel cannot be the same Israel that was founded in 1946. Is that correct or not? I did a session here talking about that, and when you look at the landmass that is described, okay, that is described in the scriptures, you will find that it represents and it points you to a completely different landmass that is not as far north as it is in present day. That being the case, I truly believe that, yeah, that the geography does need to be adjusted, and that what we're looking at here, you know, I said it before, when the fulfillment of the promise of the Most High comes to pass, there is no way that every person that is of Hebrew descent is going to be able to fit in the small landmass that is now celebrated today as being the chosen land, okay, the promised land. But rather, when you look at what the scriptures declare is the correct geographical landmass, you're going to find that, yeah, that is vastly different and vastly larger. With that being the case, hey, we got a treat for you coming up. Be right back. Fam, I am so delighted today. I am happy. As I tell, as I often tell Penny, Josh and Penny, I am toe wiggling happy today. I am toe wiggling happy because we are going to actually hear from. You're not just going to hear from, but you're also going to see our beloved Minister of Health and Wellness. Yes, it's true. Don't call in. It's true. Our beloved Kanai Israel has decided to put together something for us, and I watched it. I loved it. I wanted it to be longer, but you know what? She said something that I really, she kind of struck a chord. She says that, you know, we all are on here, but no one knows what we look like, except for, of course, myself. And now you're going to know what our beloved sister looks like. And I'm thankful to her, and also to her husband, that, that she's doing this. I'm glad that she's a part of what we're doing. I'm glad, so glad, very delighted. It's one of those things that I don't know, I kind of been waiting for this, and this is great. So like, I'm excited. So I'm very happy to present our beloved sister to you. This is our minister of wellness. This is our minister of health. And let's celebrate her. Let's celebrate what she's given to us. And I just simply want to say she's a precious soul to me. She's just a beautiful person from what I can gather, inside and out. And I'm just thankful that, thanks to her, give shout outs to her husband. I'm just so happy. I'm so pleased. So my brothers and sisters, without any further ado, we're actually going to have some conversation. Next week, I'm gonna have a conversation about chicken, but for right now, we're getting ready to do something special, and this is our segment called Moshe in Your Kitchen.
Shabbat Shalom. This is Kanaya Israel, and today's segment is on health. Why health is important to maintain optimal health. And on today's segment, I'm going to just show you some herbs and some natural foods that your body needs to get the energy that it needs and the cellular function to obtain optimal health. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
Love it.
The lymphatic system is very important to detoxify because it removes cells and toxins from the body while giving you the balance that you need to reduce inflammation out of the body so you can stop hurting.
Well, let me stop right here because this is something that has become dear to me because my son was recently diagnosed with something that is of great issue, lymphoma. In fact, a stage 4 lymphoma. And while they did do some chemo on him, he has changed his diet, changed some things, and of course he's doing better now. And he really does feel as if he's kind of out of the woods. But I'm sharing this information with him. I mean, this is right on time. This is so on time, and I'm just so thankful. I'm happy. I tell you, I'm praising the Most High for this. But let's continue to listen.
The top healing herbs are red clover, cleavers, burdock root, dandelion, pistacia, and nettle leaf. These are very important to detoxify the body and give restoration. Nourishing whole foods. Leafy greens are the most important for cellular cleansing. Beets, avocados, berries, garlic, lemon, and especially cucumbers and celery gives hydration and cleansing to the body for cellular repair. Putting it into practice. Start your day with these things. Start implementing into your life. And see the change in the body. You will begin to implement this into your lifestyle, and it will bring health and wellness to you.
Now, okay, so what I'm going to ask is, I don't know. Okay, part of the sentence is cut off up there only because of the way that I have my screens arranged. It says, start your day with warm lemon water to move the lymph. Okay, I want to make sure that you get that. I'm starting to put this into practice This is something that I'm going to be doing every day. And so, man, it's just wonderful that we're getting this information. This is something I'm going to start, this week, tomorrow.
I pray that this helps. Thank you for watching. If anyone needs to contact me, you can contact me at healingrootsandwellness@gmail.com.
Okay, I want to pause that because I want everyone to get that. Yeah, I want everyone to get that email address. And it's healing roots and wellness. Healing roots and wellness, okay? At gmail.com. Healing roots and wellness at gmail.com. Let's connect with our sister. Let's encourage our sister and let's take her advice. This is our very own Minister of Health and Wellness. And I am so very, I'm praising the most high on the inside, because not just for the needful information, but I love it when we all come together and we pitch in and we help and we do our part. And I feel like she's doing her part. She's giving us information that we need as a community. And for those of you that don't know, she's got some alphabets behind her name, right? What is it? She is a certified clinical medical assistant, okay? Which means that, she's involved in the healthcare community with helping patients, and she can do some administrative things, but she can also do some things in relationship to health and medications. Also, she is an HHP, a holistic healthcare practitioner. I love that part. I love that part right there. So I really do appreciate my sister. I honor her. I esteem her. I thank you for your information, your wealth, your knowledge, and I appreciate who you are. And so I simply want to say, we need more of this information. I want more of this information. So I'm gonna let y'all listen. She's almost done. Pretty much it. But hey, look at our Minister of Information and Wellness.
Once again, that is Healing Roots and Wellness at gmail.com. Shalom Aleichem. See you soon.
I tell you, it does my heart good. That's a member of our family right there, y'all. Member of our family. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yes, thank you so much. I want to just personally say thank you so much, Kanai Israel. Thank you so much for doing this. And please keep it coming. Take your time, but keep it coming. And I really do appreciate your actual contribution. I appreciate the time that you took out. Trust me, I know how much time things can take. Thank you so very much. Again, you're appreciated. Also, I want to mention, and I love to see the love coming in from the family in the chat room. I love that. I love that. Also, I want to mention that we are, it's been brought to my attention that we should do something for those who want to walk in truth, those who need to walk in truth. And I simply want to say I'm in full agreement with it. And so while I have adopted a fasting lifestyle, I want to invite you all to fast for the purpose of bringing family members and people of our distant families into the truth of the Most High. And so with this, we're looking at really concentrating on this as an effort and turning our plate down. Now listen, I know many of you may have medications and you have to eat with your medications. I get that. So if you want and you can, I'm suggesting that you just maybe do an hour or two, and I don't want to interrupt what's necessary in order for your body to heal, even though fasting does help healing. I'm inviting you to do this with us, okay? I'm inviting you to do this with us on the course of this week coming up, okay? If you can do daily, do daily. If you can just do one day, then choose a day. And I really want to do this together. I'm going to be pretty much fasting every day, but you don't have to do that if you're not able to. I want you to just make sure that we come together. Okay, I'm going to choose this Thursday as a day where if you can only do one day, then we will all do Thursday. Okay, and this is for the purpose of bringing our brothers and sisters, close and distant, into the truth of the Most High. And we're asking you, for those of you that can, if you can, listen, some of you cannot do water only. Some of you may just, need to postpone your first meal until lunch. Okay. If you can do that, whatever you can do, it is appreciated. Okay. We're not going to beat you over the head if you don't. If you say, well, I can't do it, just let your prayers and your thoughts, let it focus on our family members actually coming into the knowledge of the truth. And let us come together as a family and really join together as a community. And let's begin. Let's begin. All praises to the Most High. Yes, love it. Terry said, I just ended a 40-hour fast and will continue every other day of 40 hours of fasting. All praises to the Most High. That's beautiful. Also, I'm looking at, my sister Christine Croning says, intermittent fasting for my health and those that are not in the truth. And so Repent and Save asks, okay, she says, or all day, are we talking, what are we talking here? I'm talking a number of hours or all day? Okay, here's what I'm asking. I'm focusing on the day, but those of you that can, if you can only do until lunch and you have to eat lunch, do that. If you can go longer, do that. If you can go from, wait until sunrise, wait until the next day. If you can do a full day, then please do that. So I'm not regimenting. It's according to what you can do. It's more important that we come together as a community in heart and mind and in purpose. So do what you can do on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday. Okay? And by all means, may the Most High bless us all. I'm Melky Uriel, and you know what? Hey, when I get back, I'm just gonna open it up for some questions. And by the way, there is a question that I'm going to answer. But when I get back, we're gonna open it up for some questions, and then we're going to let you enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. So, peace and blessings to you, brothers and sisters. Be right back. Hi, I'm Melky Uriel, and I want to come to your church or to sit down with you, Pastor, and have a build where we discuss, open up scriptures, and discuss the realities behind the Hebrew way of life and following the laws. Please call the number below, and if unanswered, please leave a message. Thank you. Shalom. All right, now's the time to ask your questions. We're going to open it up for a little bit of free-form questioning. So, hey, whatever question you want to ask or whatever comment you want to state, we'll embrace it, okay? There is a question that did that was presented by our sister Mariska Parker. She asked about Bastille Days and what is Bastille Days all about. Bastille Days is about actually the French storming the Bastille. Why is that significant? Well, they were going through, they were experiencing tyranny by under the reign of Henry the 16th, I believe. It was 16th, yeah, 16th. Henry the 16th, and so, long story short, basically they revolted. So it's almost kind of like their July 4th. And is it okay for a Hebrew to go to it? I mean, if you want, I mean, you can. But hey, it's not anything that, the French fighting each other for whatever reasons. Hey, it has nothing to do with me. And so just one of those things. Hey, if you like French food, hey, go for it, right? I have no problems with it. I don't have any issues with it. Unless someone can point something out to me. Yeah, King Louis, was it King Louis the 14th or 16th? Okay, well, either one of them, 14th or 16th. Again, like I said, hey, it doesn't really matter to me, but hey, feel free to go if you want. And I'm trying to think of what do the French have that's really, really good to eat other than buttery croissants and the word menu. What else do the French have? Let's see. Spaghetti's not French. Spaghetti's Italian. I don't know. I don't think I know much about French cuisine. So anyway, hey, that's it for the Bastille question. And let's see here. Do we have any other questions or comments? Let me check. Let me look. My sister says I'm going for the food. I don't know. I might show. I'm hungry right now. Can't go right now, but I might show up for some food if they got something good. Let's see. Oh, quiche. Okay, quiche is French. Ratatouille. Okay, I guess that's French too, huh? Isn't that like spaghetti? What is that? Ratatouille. I guess that, I don't know. George Evans, have you ever read the Thanksgiving Scroll, the Psalms, and the Dead Sea Scrolls? I did. I think I did happen across it. I never really focused on it to uncover some of the deep truths that may be inferred by it. The way that I've done some other texts, and I just, it is something that I could look at. It is something that I could get into. One thing about the Dead Sea Scrolls that many people don't know is that it is attributed to Dawid HaMelech to have written 52 Sabbath Psalms, as they're called, and that there's actually a 151st Psalm. Yeah, there's a 151st, but we, of course, as you know, we only have, out of the 5 divisions in the entire book of Psalms itself, we only have 150 totaling, and the 151st is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And it's giving thanks to the Most High, and I love it. I really do. Repent and save. I was talking about French food. French food. She's like French fries. We love some French fries, right? Man, especially I don't know if you've ever done this, if you've ever made French fries at home, but man, you know what I'm saying? When you make them right. Thank you, Moray Yeshaya says, hey, love this channel. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I love what you do too. What are bayonets? Okay, Michael Charles Marsh says beignets, which is BEIGNETS. I don't think I've ever had whatever that is. I've never had a beignet. I've had some French fries though. and I'm hungry right now. I haven't had anything all day. Let's see here. Okay, what is and I'm assuming that you pronounce that bagnette. What is that, Michael Charles Marsh, man? What is a bagnette? I've never had one of those. The air fryer is not French, is it? Oh, air fried French fries. Okay, that's probably good. Yeah. It's French. We love them in southern Louisiana. You know what? I forgot all about the French corridor in New Orleans. I forgot all about the French connection to the New Orleans. Ratatouille is French provincial. It's French provincial dish. Excuse me. Stewed vegetables that originated in Nice and is sometimes referred to as ratatouille. Man, I cannot pronounce that last word. Niqua. Okay. Beignet is a French pastry. See, now I'm good with the pastries. You give me some, even though I don't need it, you give me some good pastry. Oh, what you talking about? I love my brother. He keeps me laughing. There's Pepe Le Pew is French. I need to try. I need to happen up on one of these here bagnettes. And man, I'm gonna have to try that. Hey, I don't know. Maybe I'll see you out there sometime, Mariska Parker. Man, maybe I can catch up to you, and man, see if I can find me some ratatouille and some bagnettes. Like the guy said when he walked into a restaurant, I like some of them filet mignons. I feel like that's how I'm pronouncing bagnettes. Give me some of them filet mignons. Let's see here. Oh, peace and blessings to you, Christine Croning. She says, thank you for your teaching. And thank you. Listen. All praises to the Most High. I love you guys with all my heart. You know, I'm so glad that we're able to come here as a community and come together. And, okay. Do you still have my number, sis? Mariska Parker, do you still, I don't know if you, let me put my email address in the chat room. Okay, so maybe we can connect when I don't know, maybe we can. Okay, that's my email address. All right. And so, hey, so with that being the case, my brothers and sisters, hey, I appreciate you. I love you. Again, sir, Morey, Yeshaya, Torah Lessons, peace and blessings to you. I'm always honored in your presence, sir. I'm always honored, and I have not forgotten that we're going to connect and we're actually going to do something together. I would absolutely love that. I definitely want to have you here on this channel, and man, you know, let's do something. And I have not forgotten that. And with that being the case, Repentant and Save says, I meant to mention in the Hebrew money segment, why on earth is rent so crazy everywhere? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're right. And mortgage rates. By the way, it is okay to drink tea or to drink whatever you'd like to drink. Hopefully you're not drinking alcoholic beverages during a fast. But drink whatever you want to drink. Definitely include water in the midst of whatever you drink. And it is okay to drink tea. Thank you, Charles Marsh. Michael Charles Marsh. Listen, here's what I believe is happening. Underneath the surface of everything, okay, the middle class is basically becoming non-existent. And I think that is the purpose behind, the rents being crazy, mortgages, so forth and so on. It's to gut and to take away that segment of wealth and put that into the pockets of the rich, and to widen the gap and to create an even more effective power base, and to cause everyone else to basically live on what may be deemed as a subscription type model, where you're constantly working to pay things that are never ending. Okay? Yeah, you know what? I feel the same way, Mariska Parker. She says, I would love to meet you all, family, in person. You all have good souls. Yeah. I feel the same way about you, my sister. And hey, maybe we can touch base on tomorrow and maybe get some ratatouille and some beignets or whatever them things are called. Mora Yeshaya Torlesson says, if I may, Hebrew class is at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Moray Yeshaya Hebrew lessons. If you would like to participate, feel free. And I want to thank you all for attending and giving me your attention and your time. I appreciate you. I love you. I honor you for who you are. And I'm thankful to the Most High for the righteous truth, for the righteous truth and the life-affirming ways that you exhibit. And I appreciate you. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to stop and pause. He said, I pay $1,600 for 2 bedrooms in Jersey. Man. At any rate, man, that's a lot. So with that being the case, hey, I feel the same way, Mariska Parker. I would love to see my family. And I'm so thank you once again, Kanai Israel. Now we know what you look like, okay? My beautiful sister and her husband, they're going to share some other videos with us. And I can't wait. So with that being the case, hey, peace and blessings to you. You all, I love you. Thank you once again for giving me those 2 precious gifts, your time and your attention. And I thank you that you have given unto me another opportunity to express my divine purpose, which is to share truth and to further empower and to help you to be all that the Most High desires that you be. I praise the Most High for you, for your existence, for your talents, for your skills, for your very being. And I celebrate the very fact that you're breathing. I pray that the Most High bless you, keep you, that He continue to protect you and just from harm, danger, and that I also pray that He prosper you. So with that being the case, in the name of Yah and Yah alone, I bless you, and I pray His every will and His every blessing be at your fingertips and readily disposable for your benefit. That being the case, peace and blessings to you. Love you. And we're going to go ahead and Yah willing, we'll see you for Yom Ravi. Everyone here, please, everyone watching, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Come on, do it right now and help us grow. Love you all. Peace and blessings. Shalom.